In today's video, Papa Nurgle has sent 8 million of his Nurgle warriors to go and fight the Empire. They have a vast variety of soldiers, including flying types, giants, and standard Nurgle warriors to fight against the Empire. But the Space Marines are packing a meaty punch, with every Space Marine chapter defending in various positions throughout this tundra. And on top of that, they have 200,000 Deathcore Shovel Knights here ready to defend as well. Can every Space Marine Legion manage to hold back 8 million Nurgle soldiers that are charging them? If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below if you'd like to see some more Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 Warhammer 40k battles. Either way, let's get into this thing. What's up, gamers? I'm here to tell you about Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an amazing place where you can get some fire deals on all sorts of video games. Seriously, it's like 60 to 95% off, as you can see here. These are all of the Star Wars titles they have. They literally have every Star Wars title. You can also get XCOM here, Men of War Assault Squad 2. All of the games I play on the channel you can buy here for extremely cheap prices. If you use my affiliate link in the description, it helps me out a ton. So thank you guys for listening to this sponsorship, and thank you to Instant Gaming for continuing to sponsor the channel. Alrighty then, boys, let's go ahead and press start here and start us off in slow motion because I just want to show off the battlefield while it begins. Over this way, we've got the Iron Hand that are going to be defending this very small little fort over this way with swords and shields. But these guys are very tough. They have about 30,000 health apiece, so they should be able to hold their own for quite a while against some of these Nurgle warriors that are going to be charging them here. So this is just one of the many defensive positions that the Space Marines hold. Over this way is going to be another little side defense. With more of these Iron Hand boys defending with chain swords as well as pistols right here on this small little island. And then there's the main fortifications over this way, and I think we can go into full speed now with the Deathcore Shovel Troopers here. And actually, I think I misspoke in the intro. I believe there's 300,000 of them. Not that it'll make too much of a difference. These guys are extremely weak and will die extremely quickly. So don't expect big things from them. Over this way in the middle, we have the Ultramarines, and around each side of the castle walls, we have various different Space Marine legions. So over this way, we have the Soul Drinkers. On this side, we have the brand new Space Wolves, which were added to the Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 Warhammer mod pretty recently. This side doesn't have any Legion, but then this side over here has the Legion of the Damned with their massive Warhammers right there. Beautiful. Over here, we have my favorites, which you guys are basically saying I need to give backup to, the Salamanders. So I gave them backup in the form of a few tanks over this way. Yeah, I think you guys are right. These are by far the weakest of the Space Marine Legions in the mod. I don't know about the actual universe, but in this mod, they are the weakest. So we're giving them some tanks to help them out, or at least try to help them out a little bit, because they've been having a very hard time, to say the very least. Either way, some warriors charging these boys, but they're getting dropped fairly decently. A lot of the Nurgle warriors actually have a lot of health, so it's going to be slightly difficult to take droves and droves of them out all at once. It's going to be a bit more of a grind. Over this way, we have some more Nurgle warriors coming in. These are Cyclops units, I want to say. Do they have 2 eyes? No, I think they only have 1. Yes, these are the Cyclops units, and they are just carving their way through here. However, we do have the Blood Angels up this way on this hilltop, and they're able to get some good spam fire out while these Deathcore soldiers delay, I guess, the Nurgles coming forward. So that's pretty nice. I guess you don't really call them Nurgles, because Nurgle is the god. So the Nurgle Warriors, or whatever you say. Nurgle is like one of my favorite factions in Warhammer. They're so fun to learn about. They have the craziest lore ever. They're just exceptionally cool units and lores and stuff like that. They're just so amazing. I love that every single warrior, as long as they're like within the realm of Nurgle, or like being blessed by Nurgle, they are so happy to serve him despite becoming like these disgusting, awful creatures. It's just crazy, man. It is crazy. And again, I am pretty much a beginner to Warhammer. I have so much to learn. I feel like I've learned a lot, and then I learned 10,000 new things in one video, so go easy on me, fellas. I'm trying my best. Legion of the Damned over here, not yet getting involved because they do have lightning bolts, but that's only good for like 10 feet in front of them in terms of range, so they won't be that effective for quite some time, but I think they will get involved in this battle relatively quickly because a lot of these shovel soldiers are just getting dropped by the incoming Nurgle monsters over here. Now, let's go over this way, where right now no one's actually attacking this middle ground, mainly because of the Iron Hand soldiers in this fort over here that are continuing to maintain pretty nicely. Some of these flying Nurgle bat monsters are dying out on this little choke point area as these guys slap them down out of the sky. Yeah, these guys hold really, really nicely. These are some pretty powerful units, to be honest. They can be fairly devastating. So I expect they'll get a very solid number of kills before they end up all dying and going down, which is basically preventing a lot of the Nurgle swarm from going down this way because they all get distracted by wanting to come and kill some of the Iron Hand over here, who in their own right are going to just get so many kills. A few of them are flipping through the air because some of these beasts have knockback to them, so they can be pretty devastating. But these Iron Hand, man, they go hard. They go incredibly hard. And I understand in previous videos I was calling them the Iron Fist. People corrected me and told me they were the Iron Hand. And sometimes it gets confusing because some people tell me one thing and then another person goes, no, you're wrong for calling it that now. So I think even some of the Warhammer community don't know Warhammer that well because they're always misleading me. Always. I know people try and teach me, but it's hard to understand who is an expert in the lore and who is not. Either way, the Salamander is having some enemies getting very, very close to them over this way, but still those tanks are helping them keep these enemies at bay. There's also 2,000 Salamanders, so they're able to do some serious damage themselves. The Warhammer units are at 154,000 soldiers remaining, so they have lost half of their force, but you have to remember half of their force, well, way more than half of their force, like 90% of their force is just shovel soldiers acting as cannon fodder, so it's actually okay that they've lost that many troopers. They'll still be able to hold out for an exceptionally long period of time. Over here, Blood Angels now having to directly interact with some of the enemies coming towards them, but they should be able to get some serious numbers of kills over here. We are at 6.89 million Nurgle soldiers remaining, meaning over 1 million have died at this point, 1.1 million to be exact, and we have the Legion of the Damned over here starting to swing their Warhammers and taking out droves of these new Nurgle soldiers at once. Look at that. They could drop entire piles of these guys. These guys are kind of cool. They kind of like hold almost like Spartan shields, and they have kind of like almost gladiator-esque helmets. This is really cool. These guys are sick. Man, I love the designs of Warhammer, man, and I love the lore of Warhammer. It just gets so confusing, though. Ultramarines backing up these Deathcore soldiers with some of that high-powered explosive fire, taking out some of these beasties that are charging them over this way, doing a nice job. So this area is now starting to flood with enemy soldiers coming on forward, so that's another avenue that's going to have to be defended. Currently the Salamanders, they've definitely taken some losses, but for the most part they're still staying alive here with their tanks, although they are getting completely surrounded. I'm pretty sure eventually they'll get cut off in the back here as these shovel soldiers end up dying, but for now, they're holding out. They're doing their best. They're trying their darndest there. Space Wolves over this way also having to directly now engage with the enemy as a lot of their Deathcore soldiers in front of them have started to go down. 6.5 million of Nurgle soldiers now remain, so 1.5 million have died. They're starting to pick up more and more kills, actually, as the battle goes on here. And I think that's just because as the Nurgle warriors get closer, they have to deal with more and more fire from stronger and stronger units, such as the Legion of the Damned over this way. And of course, inside of the fort is all Ultramarines and Deathcore soldiers, so That's going to be one of the most challenging areas to attack, especially those doorways there, which eventually here we are going to see that happening as some of these Deathcore shovel soldiers over this way are going down. Look at that. Yeah, they are pummeling their way through, so they're going to actually get to this gate first, because this is the only gate not guarded by a ton of Space Marines. So this is the best way for Nurgle to enter into the fort over here. A few Ultramarines are getting tossed around right now. These poor guys, they're firing away, look at that, but they're just getting tossed around, and that one ends up going down. But hopefully, as they sort of enter into this area, all of these Space Marines concentrate their fire on the doorway here and manage to strike down a ton of these Nurgle soldiers, and that seems to be happening right now, which is really, really good to see. Yeah. Just stop them in their tracks right there, okay? The Deathcore soldiers will continue to be cannon fodder for you, but you can't lose the fort super early on. But I don't think that'll happen. We have a lot of Ultramarines over here capable of creating this nice little choke point defense. Hopefully they can really optimize that and make good use of it. Alright, let's go check on the Iron Hand over here, see if they're still alive. Seems like plenty of Nurgle soldiers are heading towards them, so yeah, they are still alive over here, working their magic. It's very slow progress for the enemies here. Yeah, they're doing well over this way. They're doing quite nicely. Look at these body piles they're building up. It is kind of crazy. These guys are going ham right now. And look at that, 6.9 million. Wait, is that 6.9? No, that's 6 million. 6 million, now 5.9 million. It's hard because my recording overlay covers up the troop count sometimes, so it can be difficult for me to see it. So now 5.9 million Nurgle remain, which means a total of 2 million have already died, and it's only been 10 minutes of battle here. That is absolutely insane. 84,000 Space Marines and Deathcore troopers remain. I want to go ahead and time-lapse this little entrance point here. I think this would be a cool time-lapse area to watch. Let's watch this Space Marine on the roof over here and the guys below, and the Nurgle Swarm trying to push through the gate over that way, and we can watch the body pile grow. Let's do it, baby. Okay, so the Nurgle Swarm is at 4 million soldiers remaining, so it's actually already halfway through this battle. Warhammer units are so back, baby. After 2 devastating losses in a row in the last 2 Warhammer videos where they lost pretty close. I mean, they were close fights, to be fair, but they still lost. Now we are having a fairly dominant performance from these guys. Still 26,000 Warhammer Space Marine units still alive, and Nurgles are at 4 million, which is a fraction of what they started with. Half of their soldiers. Pretty good, and looks like, yes, this gate is being protected quite nicely. Legion of the Damned on the other side still holding their area really, really well against these guys coming in here. So they're doing fine too. Over this way, okay, the Soul Drinkers have died. Rip to the Soul Drinkers. So this gate is now starting to get attacked as well. And over here, the Space Wolves also appear to have perished. Rip. There might be a couple up here? No, sadly not. Okay, oh, a couple Nurgle troopers are getting up here randomly. That's kind of funny. Oh, they're climbing the walls. Blood Angels over here also dead now. Rip. But the Salamanders, for once, the Salamanders still remain, and I think they remain so well due to the fact that they have the tanks here, which are, yeah, helping them a good bit. A very, very good bit. Let's head over this way and see how the Iron Hand are doing. If they're still alive, that'd be awesome. Oh, they are! That's actually wicked impressive. The fact that these guys are still surviving is incredible. Look at that. Look at them go, baby. Doing the old stabby, getting some kills. Yes, sir. Kill those weird... I don't know if they're undead. Do Nurgle count as undead? Or are they just like warped creatures? Or they're like cursed creatures or something like that? It might not necessarily be undead, but still. They're doing great. They're doing fantastical things over there. Let's go ahead and time-lapse the Salamander defense over excuse me, hiccup, over this way and see how the Nurgles do long term over here. 3.7 million Nurgle Swarm remaining. Let's get it, baby. Alright, the Nurgle forces have dropped down to 3.1 million soldiers now. So they are definitely on the downswing in the totalness of this battle. They are not doing super well. And these two gateway entrances, they are making... Whoa, what just happened to my mouse? That was weird. They are making a slight amount of progress here, but just not enough to actually push through fully. And I think what's helping is the Death Corps soldiers distracting them and the Ultramarines being able to just pour fire into them as they go on in that way. The Iron Hand over here is still fighting very nicely. They are doing great job. Great job. They have lost a series of soldiers, but you know what? They're still alive. They're still fighting. They're still kicking. They're still doing that thing. And we absolutely love to see that. And I think I kind of want to push them out here just for fun. Because, like, over half of them are sitting on top of buildings. So I think it'd be cool if they tried to make a push through the Nurgle. And really just, yeah, did a big surge forward. And look at that. They are just carving their way through. Heck yeah. Oh my goodness, they could have the potential to get like 1 million kills here. There's probably still like 600 or 700 of these guys alive, and they are very devastating. Although they are getting knocked around a little bit by these beasts, just due to the fact that the knockback is pretty rough. But on this side, they're just clobbering through, and they have 30,000 health apiece. So I mean, yeah, these guys are real tough. Yeah, look at that. 30,000 health. I was right. That's insane. So a fun little side story over here with the Iron Hand. Let's go ahead and time-lapse them moving around. You can see the little yellow minifigures on the battleground here, and they're trying to push out. Actually, it might be better to look over here because these guys will be like straight up pushing through. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, well, these guys did end up dying, but I really liked that little last hoorah they had, and I think they got a ton of kills. That was awesome, yeah, because we are now at 2 million remaining Nurgle soldiers, so I think they did get actually quite a number of kills. I am starting to see the Nurgle do that glitch that sometimes happens with modded units here, where they sort of line up and don't move, but we still have a ton of them surging forward, so I'm not too worried about it. And it seems like a very small portion of them that are actually doing that. And the Warhammer Space Marines are just tearing it up, man. That, like, the Salamanders plus the tanks seems to be such a good combo. A few Salamanders did die, but they're still holding that little mountaintop really nicely, if you can call it a mountaintop. It's more like a little hilltop. The interior defenses of the Ultramarines are holding spectacularly well. We've got a body pile nearly reaching a 2-story little village hut thing there, so these guys are clearly doing very, very well themselves over this way. I just have to say, we are cruising right now. The Ultramarines, the other Space Marines, they are doing a wonderful job. Wonderful. Let us continue. 1.98 million Nurgle remaining. During this time lapse, and a Legion of the Damned soldier somehow got in here. Was he always here? There's no other ones around here. How did he get in there? Actually, speaking of Legion of the Damned, there's only a few around here left. Maybe he got like knocked back there. They're still surviving, but they're having a very, very hard time out here, I will say. A few of them, though, going very strong. So, huge props to the Legion of the Damned for continuing the good fight. 1.68 million Nurgle Swarm remaining. I think we're gonna have a Space Marine victory here. I think this is a shoe-in victory. I think they got it for sure. I mean, we'll still, of course, let it run, and hopefully this glitch area over here doesn't end up being too much of consequence, but we still have, yeah, a ton of these Nurgle soldiers coming up this way, especially around the flanks of these Legion of the Damned. Actually, this is where all the Legion of the Damned are. They're all in this corner. The ones over here got kind of wiped, although there's a few still fighting for their lives around here. But yeah, most of them are still over this way, surviving just a little bit. Not doing too great, but they're wiping out those big boys pretty nicely, and the infantry is nothing to them. The infantry is super easy for them to wipe out. So let's watch these guys on this hillside here. Nurgle are dying slower now, but it could be because a chunk of them aren't really coming forward. But we saw during that time lapse a number of the Legion of the Damned did end up going down, but there are only 1.24 million Nurgle left alive, so they're not doing too hot. This entire doorway is just blocked by body piles now. Same can be said for this one, but a few are squeaking through underneath the bodies, I think. So that's kind of crazy. These Ultramarines still standing. Salamanders over here also still standing, and it looks like, yeah, some of these guys are still coming forward. We can always launch the Salamanders against these guys once they do fully stop coming forward, but hopefully they keep coming forward. But they are kind of trickling in now, so it does make it a little bit easier for the Salamanders out this way for sure. I think this is the best chance that the Nurgles have over here is against the Legion of the Damned and then coming through to the fort, but we'll just have to see because it doesn't seem to be going very well for them at all anymore. Well, it does look like the Legion of the Damned ended up going down here, and actually the Nurgle are making a little bit more progress over here on the interior side of things, but they are still holding, and the Salamanders and the tanks are still doing just fine over here. 829,000 remaining Nurgle soldiers, so I do kind of think that we got this in the bag. It does look like more of them are mobilizing over here, and the glitch isn't happening nearly as much anymore, so that's good. So we will get a continuation of this battle, but those that are mobilizing here are just getting shredded by Salamander fire. We also have a few charging this way too, which is good because it'll distract from the entrance of the fortress over here, where the Ultramarines are probably having a little bit more trouble now that they've lost more soldiers, but they still seem to be doing decently fine. Not too big a deal. This guy over here probably will die at some point here, though, as he's getting charged pretty heavily. And I can't tell if he's firing or not, to be honest, but it is what it is. 790,000 remaining Nurgle, so we are at 10% of the total force of Nurgle left alive, just about, and 15,124 Space Marines remaining. Let's watch these guys charging into Salamander fire in the distance here and see how they do. Alright guys, it looks like the Salamanders defeated almost everyone over here except for the glitch guys over that way. We still do have folks going into the fort from both directions. Well, these guys might be blocked. They're not actually going in over here, but they're going in over this way. So we'll keep it going. 332,000 dead, or sorry, Nurgles left alive. 13,980 Space Marines left alive. Yeah, this seems pretty much over, to be completely honest with you. The defense is still holding very strong. I actually want to go ahead and just release the Salamanders and the tanks and let them start attacking these guys that are glitched over here. Only 200,000 of the Nurgle got glitched, so I don't really think that's a huge deal. There's not a ton attacking anywhere now. It's just sort of chilling. So I think this is pretty much the wrap-up. We'll let it play out, but I will say I think this is a Warhammer 40k Space Marine W. So let's go ahead and time-lapse just overhead, watching the salamanders push out and killing the glitched Nurgle and stuff like that. Well, boys, it is just about over. No one is attacking the fort because the salamanders and the tanks are just mowing through the glitched Nurgle over this way. A few of them do break free, it seems like, as they kind of like get shot, but most of them are just taking the punishment and dying. There's only 32,000 of them remaining. And that's about it, boys. 2,000 Nurgle remaining. I guess they're probably somewhere. Oh, they're over here. There's still just a couple. 10,000 Space Marines remaining at this point. They probably took more losses because we sent them on the search here, but it was pretty fun. So guys, that is going to be about it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and these Space Marines are going to finish off the last 2,000 Nurgle. Actually, let's nuke them for fun. Skadoosh! That's beautiful. That's what we like to see. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alright, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace! I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.